So today I'm replacing the alternator on my LBZ. I started having some problems after a long trip, started having a whining sound, and my airbag lights were flashing, and I was having a rough idle. First, you need to get to this flange right here to get the belt off of the pulley on the alternator. And it's got a little 1/2-inch drive indentation right there. To get a breaker bar or a ratchet in there, you have to take out this air box. It's the only way to get access. There's not a lot of room in there. That little clip comes off, and you have to take off that section and push it out of the way. You don't have a lot of room to work with this fan guard. You can loosen the bolt that's beneath it. It's hard to reach, and there's one at the top. I'm not going to do it this time. While we have the belt off, we're going to go ahead and replace it. It's probably going to be backwards. Disconnect the battery and then loosen the band clamps that's securing the airbox. Now this is where you gotta loosen that clip and push it up. Don't overextend it or you can warp it. And it's kind of tricky to get off, but you have to just really push on it and it'll move out of the way. I'm using the handle that's off of my floor jack as a cheater bar. It helps to get some leverage to remove the belt. It was tricky getting it out in one piece, so I decided to save the aggravation for later and cut it with a pair of dikes. Now you can start removing the alternator. It's only 2 bolts and a plug, and then you got a cable that is secured to the back side. And it helps if you can get a pry bar or a flathead screwdriver in between, and you can work it out, and it will come out. You just have to manipulate it a little bit. Now you just put the new one on the way you took the old one off, and it would have helped me a little bit if I had some anti-seize or some grease to let it slide back into place and to line up my bolts. But use a rubber mallet, you can tap it where you need it to go. Here's a closer look at the alternator and where it mounts up. Here's a diagram you can screenshot to route the new belt. I'm sure there's easier ways to do this, but what worked best for me was to just start from the top, work the belt in between the fan guard, and get it in between without worrying about any pulleys just yet. You'll need to go underneath the front and remove this cover, and you can start working the belt underneath of the crank pulley and then work it upward and then go from right to left until you reach the alternator. This is me working that belt onto that bottom crank pulley. I think this is the most difficult part. You have to turn the belt sideways. You have just enough room to squeeze it by the fan guard. It really helps to have another set of hands to do this. Luckily, my wife is really about that life, and she's laying under my truck and pushing the belt up onto the drive pulley as I work it to where it needs to go. I had to ditch the cheater bar to get the new belt on. I ended up just using my 1/2-inch ratchet and pressing it down as hard as I could, and my wife helped me get the new belt up over the alternator.